Hello, gardening friends. Welcome back to Gardening with Calyx. I am Thelma, and I'm standing before one of our more vibrant plants in the garden, Croton. Now, wouldn't you like to have a plant such as this, or at least approaching this size? And the way to get that is by jumbo air layering. Now, if that's the first time you've heard that expression, then I invite you to please keep watching, and I'll show you exactly what I mean by jumbo air layering. Welcome back and thanks for staying. Now, if you are new to the channel, special welcome to you. I hope you enjoy your stay here. And at the end of this video, if you like our content, please, we ask you if you can subscribe. Before I begin, for those of you who may be wondering what is air layering, well, it's a very popular method in which we propagate new plants from stems that are still attached to the mother plant. Now, we've covered air layering in 2 or 3 videos so far. Actually, our favorite candidate for air layering seemed to be Croton. The standard air layering, when we're selecting a stem for the typical plant, is likely to be about 18 to 20 inches long. And we've demonstrated that in a previous video. I'll give you a clip of that shortly. But just to show you the difference between what I call the standard size and the jumbo air layering that we're getting into. And in fact, actually, let me be honest, jumbo air layering is the exact same procedure, except you deal with much larger segments, larger stem segments, larger pouches, and as a result, you will have a much larger plant. So the first step right now is just to take you back a bit, remind you of the stages, the steps in air layering, then we will get on to the jumbo specimen that I am going to be focusing on in the rest of the video. For air layering, we use these small strips of aluminum foil to make the pouch. And the rooting material, we generally use cocoa peat or coconut coir. Any material will do as long as it's organic and sterile. We dampen this material before use. Then place a handful of the rooted material onto the foil segment. Not too much because you really don't want it to be too heavy. Next, you sanitize your cutting tool, which you do routinely anytime you're cutting into plant tissue. And in this case, I'm sanitizing this small knife with 3% hydrogen peroxide. I'll do the same to the secateur. Select the desired stem segment and girdle about a 1-inch strip of bark. And you do this by making 2 cuts around the entire section of the stem, and these cuts are about a 1 inch apart. Then you remove the bark from between the 2 cuts. Once all the bark is cleanly removed, you wrap the exposed section with the foil segment that has the dampened coir. Wrap this area all around. Make sure that that all of the cut area is covered. You close the pouch. You squeeze it properly so that it will remain firmly attached to the stem during the rooting period. And from our experience with Croton, this usually takes between 4 to 6 weeks. I found the perfect material to demonstrate our jumbo air layering. Well, unfortunately for me, it's down this really rather narrow pathway, and you could see why I selected it. Look at these lovely branches. It has been branching for quite a while, and as such, this qualifies as the shape and the structure of a mature Croton plant. So I'll attach the air layering pouch somewhere around this section of the stem, and once I can get in there, I'll begin the demonstration. So hold on. So we're making the cut a little wider apart, trying for 2 inches, not sure. And this is the side cut. And we move the back all the way around. Back is a little, usually I use my nails, but hey, no nails today. So that's the idea. Same procedure as with a smaller stem. You remove the back cleanly all the way around. Here is the cut area, very nice, very neat. So the root would come from the top end and just fill the pouch. And I'm going to be using the flexible pouch. But before I do, let me just point out that if you're dealing with a larger stem, you may be better off using something like a small plant pot. And here I'm showing you a 6-inch pot that has been slit down the side so that it's easy to wrap around the cut area. You then attach this pot to the stem, secure it in place. You can use twist ties or cable ties or other materials you may have on hand. Fill it with the dampened coir dust or cocoa peat and then wrap the entire pot with a waterproof covering so that the moisture levels would be maintained throughout the rooting process. But as I mentioned before, I'll be using a flexible pouch and I'll make that using this recycled shopping bag. I'll attach it with the masking tape you see there and I'll fill it with the coconut coir which has already been moistened. Now I'm going to have fun trying to make sure that this pouch remains in place along the stem. We first attach it at the base with the masking tape, making sure that the material is firmly around the cut area. And we secure it at the top, neaten it up a bit and leave it there. We're expecting it to take about 3 months for this pouch to be, for the roots to form in this size pouch. And we will check back in that time to see what the root growth looks like. Fast forward 3 months and it's time to check on the root growth in the pouch. Not bad, it's a little dry, but there's certainly sufficient roots here. Let me just close it back for the moment while I go and get something that I can use to cut it off the mother plant. I have a choice of 2 tools to use. This is what I would normally use for anything less than, I guess, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. That's fine for this, but this is over 1 inch in diameter, and although if you have strength you may want to attempt that, but I got my big jaws and I do like to use it. Very nice. And I'm going to be putting it in a container of water so that it would be hydrated. And then we move on to the last step of potting it up. I gave it a good hydration. I actually kept it in a bucket of water overnight, and there is actually no wilting. All of the leaves are nice and turgid, nothing, there was no shock to the plant, and that's why the hydration step is so very crucial, because essentially you have removed it. Here is the cut end of the stem. So this section was attached to the mother plant and getting all of its water and nutrients. And suddenly it has been removed from that source. So the way we minimize the shock is to keep the root ball immersed in water. Now pause for a moment to really appreciate the size of this root ball. That's about 8 inches by 6 inches. It is compact. There's a mass of roots in there, and as I turn it, you'll see that the roots are just really dying. Not dying, they are anxious to break free and extend themselves. Look at that. Really nice, compact mass of roots. And what we now need to do is to plant it. Now, this is easier said than done, I'm sure. I've already filled a big pot, so I put equal parts of our usual free-draining soil, compost, and vermiculite perlite mix. And I've made the insertion in the middle I need the root ball to be a few inches below the top of the potting soil, so a little bit deeper in the pot. And there we go. Closing the potting mix around it, firming that in place. So that's the height, but I still need to add more mix to make sure that the plant feels that it is properly anchored in its medium. We've managed to firm it sufficiently in place. You can see the wind is blowing and it is not rocking. And because I like things to always look aesthetically pleasing, I'm going to do a little tidying up here. These are the old flower stalks. It's better to take them off because they do slow down the rate at which the plant will send out shoots. No harm to the plant, but certainly a signal to it that it needs to start growing. And of course, the last thing we do is water to make sure, as I said, that it remains hydrated. And I'm giving it a really deep watering at this point. There you have it, the jumbo air layering, which gives you a mature, large plant, a specimen plant in between 5 and 6 months. Now, isn't that worth the effort? Certainly it is. And I'm expecting it to get to this similar size as the large one over there in about 2 years or so. There's lots more information on air layering as well as other methods of plant propagation in our book called Plant Propagation, which is available for sale on Amazon Kindle and bookfusion.com. Just click on the links you'll see below our channel description. Now, if you like the content, please give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and for those of you who may not have subscribed as yet, we're asking you please to do so because there are lots more information, lots more topics that will be covering in the near future, and you don't want to miss those, do you? So until the next video, I am Thelma saying thanks for watching. You take care. Bye-bye.